Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and today is day 240 in my countdown to retirement. So, today I took my wife to have her endoscopy done. The doctor said that she had inflammation in her esophagus. He did a cold biopsy of several lesions. He also stretched her esophagus as she had been having problems getting food down. And he gave her meds for acid reflux. And so he said he would follow up with us once he gets the biopsy results back. The total time that I spent going to, sitting there, and coming back from the endoscopy center was a little over 4.5 hours. The actual procedure itself only took 35 minutes. And, then there was the time for her to come out of the anesthesia and all that stuff. So, you know, I had an interesting conversation with another gentleman that was sitting there whose wife was going through both a colonoscopy and an endoscopy, and he had retired this year, and so we just got talking about retirement and inflation and all kinds of other things. But it made the time go by a little quicker, at least from a perception point of view. And then I perused LinkedIn, and I saw two posts from Schwab. One showed the 1 week ETF money flows, and money is, at least in the last week, was coming out of large cap US tech, was coming out of US large cap, and it was coming out of government bonds, and it was going into global equities. And then the other chart showed that the spring selling season is not off to a good start. In fact, the amount of unsold inventory now is approaching, well, that's not true. It is now at the highest it's been since the global financial crisis. So, doesn't bode well for the housing market and all the associated linkages that go into housing. Whether it's a Home Depot because you're going to do some home projects, if it's going to be construction, all of those things seem like they would be soft if the selling season doesn't go get any better. And then I placed an order for a 17-week T-bill. The auction goes off tomorrow at 11 o'clock before the 2 o'clock announcement from the Fed on what they're going to do on interest rates, and the 2:30 press conference that Jerome Powell always does after the 2 o'clock release of the numbers. So we'll see how that goes. The last 17-week went off at 4.308% for the investment rate. So hopefully I'll get that or something better. And then because of the stretching of her esophagus, my wife can't have any foods that aren't soft and at room temperature, nor any drinks that aren't at room temperature for the next 24 to 72 hours. And the variance in that time depends on how her throat feels after the first 24 hours. But they don't want her to go into spasms, apparently, from the stretching. So, I made her scrambled eggs with some cheese in them. That's what she had for dinner. And then she was going to have an English muffin with some peanut butter and wait. She was going to wait for it to cool down. But they pretty much were telling her not to have anything hard. So English muffins, once you toast them, aren't really that soft. So I don't know how that's going to work, but let her do what she wants to do. And then I had made myself some air fryer chicken with Frank's hot sauce. So that's what I had for dinner. And then I did my Tuesday evening sneak peek across all the different grocery chains near my house to see what they had on sale starting tomorrow for proteins. And so Kroger has a BOGO on Oscar Mayer bacon. They've got a boneless New York strip for $9.99 a pound with a digital coupon. They've got Jimmy Dean breakfast sausage for $2.99 with a digital coupon. And they have Canadian snow crab clusters with a digital coupon for $9.99 a pound. There wasn't anything really on sale at Publix or Sprouts. And then at Aldi, they have USDA choice bone-in short ribs for $7.29 a pound. And carrying over from the Friday ad this past week at Lidl, which goes through this Friday. They've got Butcher Specialty whole chicken wings, family pack, $2.29 a pound, and they were the wings that I had for dinner tonight. So they aren't just the first and second part. So I cut off the little flapper thing. And anyway, that's what I had for dinner. And then they also have Butcher Specialty fresh beef skirt steak for $6.99 a pound. And while I bought that I put that in the freezer. So anyway, I'm really tired today, so I'm going to try to get to bed early. That's my update for today. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave them in the comment section down below or drop me an email at myretirementramblings@gmail.com. Otherwise, I hope you have a great evening, and until tomorrow, take care.